Hi, my name's Duncan and I worked with Rob and Careers Counselling in end of 2015 and start of 2016. So I guess what brought me to Careers Counselling? Well, I worked in the oil industry. Unfortunately, I was made redundant, and instead of kind of wanting to get back in, I kind of found myself having a sort of resistance in doing that, and I felt it would be a good opportunity to actually explore what I wanted to do rather than just assume I would get back in. So in order to do that, I really wanted to have a professional to focus my mind on, what was important, but not just that, how to get that information out, and then later how to sort of transfer my skill set from the 10 years in the oil industry into something else, and basically almost just provide me with actions on how to get there. So we sat down, produced a set of objectives, and then we organised 4 different sessions in order for us to do that. I got in contact through Rob through an HR professional I worked with, and a whole chain of people suggesting Rob. So he was kind of an obvious choice for me in that respect. So what did we cover? Well, in our 4 sessions, we started right at the top almost, defining, what resistance I was facing in making my career change, right down to through things like what skills and motivations I had in my career, what things I'd considered, and maybe what things would suit me, down to how I restructure my CV in the last session. So the first session was actually really something I'd never done before. Rob actually was really good at pulling the information out of me, identifying how the relationships in my life kind of made me almost doubt how I could carry out the careers advice, and we came up with techniques and how I cope with the people around me, and reporting back to them how I was getting on, because that was a sort of worry for me. Sessions 2 and 3 are probably the most useful after we kind of cleared that up, because I think we looked at a lot of my careers anchors. So what motivates me, what are my main core skills. And although some of them were quite obvious, I mean, for example, problem solving and being able to define process rather than results, there were a lot of very interesting finds which backed up a lot of things that I'd done in my career. For example, this need for security, and also there was a great deal around I quite like having strong relationships with people at my work, and that had kind of sustained me through the oil industry, but I needed to almost find something that I felt was important myself. And I have a recording of those sessions, and what I found useful was to play back those sessions, and it helped me almost realise that this is something that's not just inside my head, but it's something that others can see. The 4th session was all about basically restructuring my CV, and it was a general sort of tidying up of how I present myself as a new applicant to jobs. So what benefits came from this process? Well, I'd say number 1 would be the clarity to go ahead with my careers decision. That came from the sort of first session. Second and third sessions helped to really cement what sort of research I would be keen on going into, and also why I felt the way I did about the career change, because up till then I'd had a kind of nagging doubt in my head, but I hadn't been able to almost articulate it. In the 4th session, obviously Rob went through a lot of my CV, and we realised I write far too much. It was all quite practical stuff actually, and probably the most useful thing was the second and third sessions, so because I think they really helped me define what it is I want to do, and I have a plan now, a dossier of all the recordings from our sessions and all the notes we did from exercises, and I now am proceeding with my career change, and at the end of this year I'm starting a new career. So that is kind of the legacy of this work, and something I'm grateful to Rob for.